Just count to 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. So can I get your name and just tell me a little bit about what's going on?
So we are community members that are...
Sorry to interrupt. Start with your name, please.
Oh yeah, my name is Paula Wabron. I'm a former neighborhood council member, representative of District 4. I am here today because as a community member, I would like to know why our board was shut down. I would like to know why we have not been communicated any results of any investigation, and why the city has decided to continue to move along this process of replacing us without really giving us any answers. The people that claim to be the candidates for the neighborhood council, they're not representative of our community. We have some serious issues going on that need to get addressed, and that is part of why we are very infuriated as a board, but also as an individual community member. I would like to know why other people don't think that displacement, criminalization of our youth, discrimination by police and other entities that are here to figure out ways to displace our community from this area, why nobody pays attention to that? Why isn't anybody talking about that? As a board, we were taking some huge steps in making those things available both to people that don't have an English-speaking background. We were making sure that we were inclusive to the Tagalog-speaking community and the Spanish-speaking community, so that they could all be aware of how this process is taking place underneath them. And also, Rio, can you talk a little bit about how the safety issues in the community might have also contributed to our shutdown, because we were being very vocal as a board? This is Rio Contreras, by the way.
Hello there, my name is Rio Contreras. I was born and raised here in Echopark. I was a former board member of District 5, and I was also chair of the Public Safety Committee. And I just want to talk about the fact that actually our safety as board members within the board was at peril. The distress that was caused by some of the board members, particularly the white gentrifying faction of the board members, including the CIO, Tanya and Wayne, and a few other folks, the constant harassment, the actual screaming at us, the calling us incompetent, was extremely stressful. And on top of that, they actually did many things to actually purposefully sabotage our meetings so that we would end up violating the Brown Act. And so that meant that we couldn't meet, and if we couldn't meet, we couldn't run business as usual, and then they would try to blame it on Quasi or us for not doing it, but we were actually always on point. It was actually the CIO who often didn't come through. And so that stress right there that it caused our community members, those of us who are long-term residents of color here in the community, really did show up in our health. A lot of us ended up having health issues. Our personal issues started to come to collision with it, and we're just done with it. And it's so disgusting to sit on a board, have this complaint filed around harassment, nothing done for 18 months, and then after 2 more members who are long-term residents of color get voted onto a board, giving us a 2/3 majority, meaning that we would have such a stronghold. We got shut down 3 days after those 2 members got voted down, and we got shut down. No explanations were given, not at all. And then an elections committee all of a sudden was put together by the city, and all the people that were handpicked by the city were part of the gentrifying faction, who were predominantly white folks who had just moved into the community, and not one of state members got chosen, and not one of the Filipino folks got chosen into that elections committee. And so we were confused. We didn't hear anything else, and now we're at the candidates forum, which is bullshit. And at this point, we need to shut this bullshit down, because it's not real. This is all fake. This is fake democracy. The city can't even get democracy right, and this is all fake. This is all bullshit, and we're not going to entertain this anymore. We're done with it.
I'm confused. How is it possible that so there was a board, and now you're not board members? Like how, like...
They sent an email. They said you're no longer board members.
Who sent an email?
The city.
What is Department of Neighborhood Empowerment sent an email letting us know we've been put on exhaustive efforts for investigation. They never explained to us what the investigation.
That's pretty outlandish in a sense.
Yeah.
That's a
They
really
never-
hard way to go.
Yeah, this is literally what it was.
Here's an email. It says you no longer are functioning as a board until further notice, and then we got no notice. And then this happens.
And then we've been asking, supposedly because, so this is the bullshit thing, supposedly because harassment complaints being filed against specific board members. What's important to note about this is that most companies or city agencies would not shut down the entire entity if there were specific harassment complaints within board members. It was never about us not functioning like a board. It was because specific complaints got filed against specific members. Usually what happens is those people get suspended until the investigation is done. Instead, they shut us down completely with no explanation. We asked, no answers from the city attorneys, from Department of Urban Empowerment.
What would you say that was the biggest power that the board members, that the people of color were taking? What was the biggest power?
I think one of the biggest power being part of the board was one, I think, symbolic. Like symbolically, we established that when we run and we ask our community to vote, they will come and vote because we all got voted in. And some of us with huge numbers, landslide numbers than ever before.
Not only that, visually, it was important. It was imperative that the public saw that there is still people of color in a large degree here